Very good morning to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the last day, day 9 of our retreat. So after today, we will be taking the bus back. uh, Then we will have to revert back to our normal daily life. So as explained, uh, you have to continue with the training, develop the mindfulness, stabilize it, so that you can use it with that ability to be in the state of ever mindful and constantly meditative to train your mind to develop the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path. Initially is to develop the insight into phenomena, to realize the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Then after that, followed by the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path. Once you have the right view, right understanding, the understanding to resolve whatever life situation and problems that one encounter following the Dhamma way, which is following Noble Eightfold Path cultivation, and you will have the embodiment of wisdom needed to overcome all so-called mental suffering, grasping and clinging. Then the mind can develop the ability to experience nibbana, cessation of form and mind, leading to enlightenment in the here and the now. Then always remember when you revert back to daily life, the daily mindfulness is very important. If you can stabilize your daily mindfulness, then you are guaranteed or assured of enlightenment in the here and the now.
Yes, Brother Teo, good morning to
Oh,
you,
morning.
Ms.
Yeah,
Teo, and all Kalyamitas.
yeah, sadhu. They are still on the way up from chanting. We have to wait for them. Huh?
Yeah, can I just tell
Yeah.
you what I said yesterday, and I reflected on what I told you yesterday
Yes,
as
yes.
who, the seems like coincidence that I went on and practiced the Eightfold Path
Yeah.
mindfully at it for those many weeks without even thinking too much about it. It's just like inside us, and we didn't understand until the message came out,
Oh,
the
okay.
thing, and then it's like you kept on reinforcing this all the time, and we were so heedless or whatever, I don't know. We don't even really think about it, we just accepted it. And
mm,
then when you repeated it again,
mm.
following the AI thing, which already talked about your book and
Yeah,
what you were
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
say, it
yeah.
suddenly dawned on me, oh, now someone has alerted me again. Someone, I don't know, the greater beings, or you and the greater beings, or something like that. And then suddenly you realize that, oh, I have a job to do. I don't
Yeah.
just do it, go back to the dependent origination,
Mm,
follow through all this,
mm.
and try and do a better job, strengthen that ability, the understanding and the practice of the Eightfold Path
Yeah,
mindfully until it becomes, like the word you use as
yeah,
balas, strong enough for us to go beyond. Is that the right thinking?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Correct.
So,
Because the fourth noble truth, as taught by the Buddha, is very clear. The Buddha proclaimed, if one cultivate this noble eightfold path, it will lead to the end of all suffering. So the purpose of us cultivating the Buddha Dhamma is to develop the understanding to liberate our mind to end all suffering. So that is the real meditation as taught by the Buddha. So whatever you do in the name of meditation, if it does not lead you back to the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, then that is not the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Because to free the mind, you need to have the embodiment of all these Noble Eightfold Path qualities. And these are very noble qualities. That's why they call it the Noble Eightfold Path. It's only one path, but it has 8 path factors. So this part most people overlook because they don't know how to put it into practice, and they thought the real enlightenment is born of special meditation, not knowing that without this Noble Eightfold Path, the way you live life, communicate with people, arise the, I should say, understanding to live life cannot be done because without the right view leading to all the appropriate right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and the 4 right effort, followed by right sati and samadhi, cannot fall into place. If that one cannot fall into place, then you are not an Arya. You are an Arya is someone that has developed the awakening, and through that awakening, they have the wisdom to understand life. Means the nature's law that governs life and existence, they have. That is right understanding. Then from that right understanding, they will know how to resolve whatever life problem through all the right thought, right speech, right action, followed by all the other path factors. And this is actually the way you live life. That's why the way you understand life, the way you arise a thought, the way you communicate, the way you interact with society, and the way you go through right living means applying the wisdom to live life without negativity. Then the 4 right effort to constantly purify. Uh, then of course to do this you need sati. You need to stabilize it to become samadhi. With sati and samadhi, you can see things as they are, and your wisdom continue to grow. That's why Noble Eightfold Path is the real cultivation. Without that, you cannot have the wisdom to accept the reality of the moment, then apply all the noble quality to resolve whatever problem or life situation amicably. So because of that, I think this AI guy, he very good. The executive summary. There is another one I think I just sent out yesterday. The Heart Sutta one.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into it, exploring Buddhist meditation, mindfulness, drawing from your own study notes on the Heart Sutra.
Yeah, the Heart Sutra Short Notes, second edition 2020 file. It's great source material.
Definitely. And our goal really is to pull out the core ideas from these notes, training the mind, understanding suffering, what's the nature of reality, that kind of thing.
Offering some practical takeaways without getting, too lost in the weeds.
Exactly. Just distilling your own exploration. Okay, so let's jump in.
Sounds good. It's always interesting seeing how these ideas unfold in personal notes. It shows a real engagement, not just theory.
Absolutely. And straight away, the notes really hit on this idea of heedfulness, sati. Mindfulness.
Foundational.
Yeah. And Dhammapada, verse 2, just puts it plainly. Heedfulness leads to happiness. Simple as that almost.
Well, simple but profound, right? It's
Yeah.
not just a fleeting feeling.
No, exactly. The notes dig deeper, mentioning verses 21, 23, saying heedfulness is like the path to the deathless.
The deathless, yeah. Spiritually speaking, the heedful don't die in that sense.
And that constant meditation, constant mindfulness, that's the road to nibbana, according to these notes.
Yeah.
Why is that awareness, that presence, so critical for happiness?
Well, think about it. When you're truly present, truly heedful, you're not lost in worrying about the future or regretting the past, right?
Mm.
Those mental loops are often where dissatisfaction or suffering really takes root. Being present disrupts that
Okay, that makes sense.
and connecting it, as your notes do, to the bigger picture. Sati is the first of the 7 factors of enlightenment. It's number 1.
The very foundation.
Exactly. Without that steady awareness, how can you investigate the Dhamma, the teachings? How can you really understand what's going on?
Right, you can't. The notes say without sati, you just can't be heedful. It even calls sati life, like with the capital L.
Wow, that's strong.
Yeah, and it's not passive, is it? The notes define appamada, heedfulness, as being ever mindful sati, but also actively cultivating the Dhamma and meditation.
It's an active engagement, yes, not just sitting back.
And I thought the example was really interesting, developing stable daily mindfulness quickly through mindful bowing with strong faith and zeal. It mentions Bro Teo's practice.
Ah, yes, that's a powerful example.
It feels very concrete, a tangible method. Are there other ways mindfulness gets woven into just daily stuff?
Oh, absolutely. That bowing example shows it perfectly. Mindfulness isn't just for the Christian. Eating, walking, listening, washing the dishes even. Okay, anything can be a practice if you bring intention and awareness to it. And that mention of faith and zeal, that's important too. It's the energy, the motivation you need to keep it going.
Right, right. So building on that heedfulness, the notes then go into training the mind. That's the first step in meditation, it says. Learning to be heedful. It mentions the difference between a trained and untrained mind, but just briefly, what's the core distinction there, would you say?
Well, the untrained mind, it's easily scattered, right? Reactive, dominated by habits, old patterns of thought.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Whereas the trained mind, it's developed more capacity for sustained attention, for clarity. It has maybe a bit more choice in how it responds to things rather than just reacting automatically.
Like taming a wild horse, you said earlier, needs patience.
Exactly. Patience, consistent effort, but it leads to more control, more direction.
Okay. And the notes say meditation starts with this heedfulness training, and then you use that trained mind for like the Noble Eightfold Path and the 4 foundations of mindfulness.
That's the progressions.
There's that quote, silent your mind and be aware from within. That really hit me. It suggests meditation isn't just about feeling calm, is it? What's the bigger aim?
No, calmness is often a byproduct, a very pleasant one, but the notes are right. The deeper aim is wisdom. Anyaya.
Wisdom for liberation.
Yes, liberation from suffering. That's the ultimate goal. The meditative mind needs to be calm, sure, but also mindful and heedful, all 3.
So it's a state that allows for real insight.
Precisely. Insight into how things really are.
Then the notes list different techniques: bowing, chanting, amanasati, mindfulness of breathing,
breath awareness,
and mind sweeping with metta, loving kindness. It calls them skillful means, initial aids.
Training wheels, essentially. Very useful ones.
But then it stresses moving beyond that, developing a silent inner awareness where the mind, this is from the Diamond Sutra, must have no dwelling.
Ah, yes, a crucial point.
So it really is about taking the training wheels off.
It is. The analogy in the notes about learning to swim is perfect. Floats help you learn, they support you.
Right.
But eventually, you want to be able to swim on your own, to just rest in the water in your own experience without needing those external supports, resting in awareness itself.
It sounds almost paradoxical. The notes suggest the mind's natural state is already meditative, without thought, just pure awareness and stillness.
It can seem that way from our usual busy perspective, yes. But the teachings suggest our baseline isn't the constant chatter.
So this awareness before the knowing, Sattva again, pure awareness before we slap labels on things or thoughts interfere. That's the natural state.
That's the idea, like the clear sky behind the clouds of thought. The notes even connect it to Krishnamurti's choiceless awareness of what I is.
What does realizing that inherent stillness?
Yeah.
Well, what does that change?
Well, it suggests peace isn't something you have to build or create from scratch. It's more about uncovering what's already there.
Clearing the clouds.
Exactly. The techniques help clear the clouds.
So understanding what meditation is, this awareness shift, is maybe more important than just doing techniques by rote.
That's certainly what the notes seem to emphasize. Understanding the goal, the nature of mind.
Okay. Then shifting gears slightly, but it's all connected. Understanding suffering, dukkha, and how it ceases. Starts with Dhammapada, verse 1. Unwholesome mind leads to suffering. Very direct.
Very direct. It points inward. Our inner state shapes our experience. It's not just external stuff causing pain.
It's our reaction, our mental state.
Often rooted in unwholesome patterns. Yeah. Greed, aversion, delusion.
And then the notes lay out the Four Noble Truths. The first is just. Life involves suffering, birth, aging, sickness, death, wanting things you don't have. The 5 aggregates of clinging.
Acknowledging the reality of it, not denying it.
Is second. Craving is the cause. And it's fueled by sakyadihi, self-delusion.
Right. That fundamental misunderstanding of self.
The third offers hope you can stop suffering right here, right now, through wisdom.
A very powerful message. It's not some far off dream.
And the fourth is the path, the how-to. The notes say understanding these is crucial for mental liberation. Can you unpack the core insight of each one just a bit more?
Sure. The first truth is facing reality squarely, seeing dukkha clearly. The second points the finger inwards. It's our craving, born from this illusion of a solid self that drives the suffering.
Okay.
The third is the promise. Cessation is possible. And the fourth gives us the practical steps, the Noble Eightfold Path. It's the map.
And this self-delusion, sakyadaihi, the notes explain it as clinging to the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness, thinking they are I, me, mine.
Yes. Identifying with these constantly changing processes as if they are a fixed, permanent self.
So that misidentification.
Yeah.
That's what keeps the suffering going. Can you give like a quick example?
Sure. Take
Yeah.
physical pain, maybe in meditation. The sensation arises. If we cling to it, identify with it, I am in pain, this is my pain. We add layers of mental suffering, resistance, aversion. We solidify it. If we see it as just sensation arising and passing due to conditions without the I story attached, the experience changes. We don't add that extra layer.
That makes sense. And that's where the notes bring in that really deep heart sutra line. Form is emptiness and emptiness is form.
Go.
Beyond just thinking about it.
It really is. It points to the lack of inherent solid existence in those very things we cling to form, feelings, all the aggregates. They're empty of a separate lasting self.
Empty, but they still function, still appear. Emptiness is form.
Exactly. It's not nihilism. It's seeing their true nature. And this connects directly, as the notes say, to the 3 universal characteristics.
Impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. How do they fit together?
They're interconnected facets of reality because everything is impermanent, constantly changing, anicca, clinging to it, inevitably leads to dissatisfaction, dukkha.
Right, because it won't last.
And because everything is changing and interdependent, there's no fixed independent self controlling it all or standing apart from it. Seeing this lack of inherent substance helps dismantle that self-delusion.
Like the cloud example you used. Seems solid, but it's just process.
Just process, constantly changing, interdependent, empty of cloudness in itself.
Okay, wow. And that brings us squarely to wisdom, prajna or panya. The notes say this wisdom is what lets you see the emptiness of the aggregates, the khandhas, and get beyond suffering.
It's essential. It allows acceptance, peace.
So how is this wisdom different from just knowing stuff? Intellectual understanding.
Well, intellectual understanding is often the start, but prajna is deeper. It's direct seeing, experiential insight. It's like reading about swimming versus actually getting in the water and feeling the buoyancy.
Tasting the dish, not just reading the recipe.
Exactly. That direct knowing allows you to naturally let go of clinging because you see there's nothing substantial to cling to. Peace arises from that seeing.
The notes also bring up understanding 3 spiritual laws. Law of karma.
Cause and effect of actions, intentions.
Law of the mind, which is dependent origination.
How things arise based on conditions, the chain reaction leading to suffering.
And law of the Dhamma, the 4 Noble Truths. Understanding these gives you right views, wisdom, and frees the mind. How do they work together?
They provide a comprehensive framework. Kamma explains how our actions shape experience. Dependent origination shows the process of suffering arising. The 4 Noble Truths diagnose the problem and offer the cure. Together, they give you the map and the rules of the road for the spiritual path.
Makes sense. It empowers you to make different choices.
Precisely. Conscious choices leading towards liberation, not deeper entanglement.
And the notes mention the 3 turnings of the 4 Noble Truths, leading to different kinds of wisdom. Suttamaya Panya.
Wisdom from hearing or reading the teachings.
Santamaya Panya.
Wisdom from thinking, reflecting, contemplating.
And Bhavanamaya Panya.
Wisdom arising directly from meditation practice, from direct experience.
So it's a deepening process from head knowledge to embodied understanding.
Exactly. Each stage is necessary. Building on the last, it culminates in that direct insight.
And that core message again, wisdom is understanding and awakening beyond just thought. It needs that direct seeing with the true mind, a mind that's quiet enough to see.
Yes. It circles back to that silent awareness. True wisdom isn't just another concept to grasp with the thinking mind. It's a shifting perception itself.
Okay, then finally the notes get really practical. 5 ways to overcome unwholesome thoughts, the 5 daily contemplations, the 6R training. Recognize, release, relax.
Re-smile, return, repeat, meditate. Yes, very practical tools.
These seem like things you can actually do day to day.
Absolutely. They bridge the gap. They take these profound ideas and give you concrete ways to work with your mind, your emotions, right here and now.
I like the point that the mind can only really do one thing at a time, be lost in thought or be aware. It really highlights why cultivating awareness is so key.
It's simple but powerful, isn't it? It shows where the leverage point is. Choose awareness. Direct your attention there.
Yeah. It reduces the space for those unhelpful thought loops.
Like changing the channel, as we said.
And those beautiful lines. Life itself is the meditation, and truth is everywhere if you have the wisdom to see it. Plus, guidance on handling worry, fear, even pain in meditation. Relax, observe, don't resist.
Seeing them as conditioned phenomena arising and passing.
How do you start to cultivate that?
Yeah.
That way of seeing truth everywhere.
It starts small, bringing mindful attention to simple things. Noticing reactions without judgment, gently questioning your assumptions. As wisdom grows, you start seeing the impermanence, the interconnectedness in everything. The truth was always there, just obscured.
Right. And the notes loop back to right thought from right views, part of the Eightfold Path, and warnings about clinging, even to meditation experiences or just knowing the Dhamma intellectually.
Yes, subtle traps. Knowledge isn't wisdom until it's lived, integrated.
And then that Diamond Sutra quote again, really tying it all together. The mind must have no dwelling. That seems central to reaching that enlightened state.
It points to ultimate non-attachment, not fixating anywhere, resting in open awareness.
So, pulling it all together from these notes, it really seems like heedfulness, mindfulness, and wisdom are the absolute core. Cultivated through awareness, through understanding. That's the way to work with suffering and see reality more clearly.
That's a great summary. It's about training the mind, yes, but also understanding the roots of our difficulties and developing insight that goes way beyond just thinking.
It's a whole journey of training, understanding, and waking up, really.
And it's an ongoing one, always more to explore, to understand through direct experience, looking within.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. Just consider, maybe today or this week, the power of simply being aware, observing thoughts, feelings, sensations just as they are, without jumping in to fix or judge them. What might you discover about your own mind, your own experience, if you just watched for a bit?
It's a powerful starting point, a doorway into this whole exploration.
Okay, Chwee. Yeah? Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. You go and listen to it slowly. They hasn't captured everything, but most of it are quite good.
Yes.
Like this AI, not too bad. Then if you don't have time to go through the whole Heart Sutta, you listen to the executive summary, you have developed the training and the understanding, then you can follow very easily. Like what you mentioned, it didn't occur to you that this Noble Eightfold Path is a meditation needed to liberate the mind. Then unknowingly you have been doing that. Then this executive summary, the emphasis on the core teaching, everything, they actually highlighted it. That's why it have an impact on you. That's why you have joy. Okay, Chwee?
Thank you, sadhu.
Thank you. Okay, let us compose our mind, develop the Saddha, Virya, then mindfully we shall recite the salutation. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Saka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Okay, we are off the light. Yeah? Then you all can have your last meditation session. 30 minutes. For a change, you all no more cushion, which is very good. Try. You want to sit on the timber platform? You try. Sometimes it's quite interesting. This type of timber platform, you in the sitting posture, you must know how to relax. Otherwise, not easy to endure, because the hard floor can actually make your leg uncomfortable if you don't know how to relax. So this is good training. Then if you want to lie down also, no more cushion, nothing. You just lie down on the hard floor. Then you learn how to relax. Okay. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed. Then we will now pay respect to Pajam. Then mindfully, slowly go down for breakfast. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we will chant the closing salutation. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Okay.